So the example here, example 4 on page 64 says, convert 8 square yards into square feet. So the part where everybody gets lost here is squaring. So let's start with the yards to feet. What's the standard yards to feet ratio?
3.
3 what?
3 feet to 1 yard.
3 feet are in 1 yard. Okay, if I want to square that.
Okay, can we go back for a minute? What's the original question?
I want to convert 8 square yards into square feet.
8 square yards. Square.
So right now we're going to talk about
What's in 1
what
yard?
the conversion is of square yards and square feet. So I need to square everything inside the brackets. So 3 squared is 9. Feet squared is
Feet squared.
square feet. 1 squared, 1 yards squared. So in 1 square yard, how many square feet are there? 9. Bart.
Okay, that second step, you want to find out how many square yards are in 8, or square feet are in 8 square yards.
Okay, we haven't started that yet. I'm just writing down the conversion of feet to yards, and then we square it.
And you wrote it the same way as to cancel out.
I just squared everything here. So you start inside your brackets. 3 squared, feet squared. 1 squared, yard squared. So this, rewritten, becomes this. So now let's apply it to this number over here. I have 8 square yards. What's my fraction? What's the ratio? Square yards to square feet.
9/1.
Okay, yards on the bottom. So I have 1 square yard, 9 square feet. Yards squared cancel, so the unit I'll be left with is
Square feet.
squared feet,
72.
and then multiply across. 72 square feet in a square yard.
Or 8 square yards.
The feet squared, did we lose the squared thing?
Nope. Yards squared, feet squared. But instead of using the 3 feet in 1 yard as our fraction ratio, I need to use 9 square feet in 1 square yard. So the next one they give is how many square feet are in 2,448 square inches. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is do this step. What's the ratio measurement feet to inches normally?
12 inches, 1 foot.
12 inches in 1 foot. Okay, square it. So square everything inside the bracket.
144 square inches to 1 foot.
So 12 squared is 144. Inches squared. 1 squared is still 1 feet squared. So in 1 square foot, I have 144 square inches. Bart.
What's your original question again? You want to find out how many square feet are in 244 or 2,448 square inches?
Yes.
Okay, so if you,
Okay. But before I can write this ratio in here, I need to know what it is. So I need to go square the ratio I do know. I know there's 12 inches in 1 foot. So if this was a cubed value, then I would need to write that and cube it. So how do I set up this fraction here? What goes on top?
144 over 1.
Is that how I set it up?
1 over 144.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, he's right on the bottom.
I need my inches to cancel, so they need to go down on the bottom. So in 1 square foot, I have 144 square inches. So then my square inches will cancel here and here. I'll be left with square foot, and then it's a fraction. So 2,448 divided by 144, 17
Square foot.
square feet. So in 2,448 square inches is equal to 17 square feet. Okay, example 5 on page 65 says a huge carpet measures, so I am a visual person. I tend to draw things for myself. So I would draw this out. Measures 180 feet by 75 feet. Calculate the area in square yards. So did they give me yards to work with?
Nope.
No, they gave me feet. So what's the formula for finding the area?
Length times width.
Length times width. Okay, that's where I need to start. Let's find the area of the carpet. So the area of the carpet equals
180 feet times 75.
180 feet times 75 feet. So what does that equal? 13,500 what?
Square feet.
Okay, right, so I had my numbers times each other, and then my units times each other. So feet times feet is feet squared. So now I have an area in square feet, and they're asking me to convert it into square yards. So what's the yards to feet ratio?
3 to
36.
1.
Oh, wait, no, hold on. Yeah.
1 yard equals 3 feet, and I need to square that. Okay, so 1 squared is
1,
yards squared,
9,
and then 3 squared, 9 feet squared. Start.
What is 13,500 square feet squared or foot squared? What does that mean?
That's the area of this piece of carpeting. So I took the length of the carpet times its width, and that's the area. So this space in here, the area of the carpet.
Why do you call it squared to say?
Because I had feet times feet
makes it square feet.
makes it square feet. So it's not feet in one direction.
Okay, so 13,500 squared means times itself.
No, I don't need to square the number. I have a number times a number gives me the number. But then I'm working with units. I need to times the units too. So feet times feet is feet squared. So that's just telling me I don't have a one-dimensional measurement of feet. Right? I have a two-dimensional feet times feet.
More or less, if you just break down that area into 1 foot blocks, there would be 13,500 1 foot square blocks.
Little pieces, right? You could break this up into little feet measurements, and if you do that over the whole carpet, there's 13,500 little 1 foot pieces. So my next step is to convert 13,500 feet squared into yards squared. So here's my ratio. Just
Cross out the feet.
where does feet squared go? Top or bottom? Bottom. I need feet on the bottom. So 9 feet squared on the bottom. So my feet squared will cancel.
Equals 1 yard.
Equals 1 yard squared on top. It's
Which
a
is
fraction.
equivalent to 1,500 square yards.
So 13,500 divided by 9 is how many?
1,500.
1,500 And then what's my unit of measurement?
You're left with yards squared.
Yards squared.
That is a big piece of carpet.
It is a big piece of carpet. Okay, let's do another one like that. Let's say I have 33 square inches. And I want to convert that, let's make that 533 square inches. And I want to convert that into square feet. So what's my inch to feet ratio? 12 inches in 1 foot. And I need to square that. So what does it turn into? What's 12 squared? 144. So I have 144 square inches in 1 square foot. Okay, so there's the fraction I'm going to work with, right there. Then I come in and plug it in up here. Do I need inches on the top or the bottom? Bottom. So 144 square inches in 1 square foot. What do I do now? Inches cancel. I'm left with feet. It's a fraction. 533 on top. And 144 on the bottom. Grab your calculator.
.7
3.7, and what's the unit I was left with?
feet.
Feet squared. Okay, so 533 square inches is 3.7 square feet.